Happy Monday, people. How are you today? It's Motivational Monday. I hope everybody is motivated today and ready to take on the week, because Monday is the most important day of the week, because it's the day that you set new habits, you set new goals for yourself. Now, some people, you may want to argue that your week starts Tuesday or another day of the week. Monday is normally the day that we begin a week. Sunday, Monday. Sunday is God's day. It's the day you're supposed to rest, so you can let your mind think on how you're going to work out the week. But Monday, you implement what it is you're supposed to be doing for the week, okay? So, with that being said, if you're new here, I am your host, Janice LaStar Simmons, and I am a survivor, a breaker of chains, and an advocate against domestic violence. Now, I'm going to leave you with that number, the domestic violence hotline number, for anyone who may need it. The number is 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-7233, okay? Pass that number along to someone who needs it. If you know someone suffering in silence, mostly men do that. They suffer in silence. They can be a victim of domestic abuse and not want to say anything about it. Have an issue with being abused by anyone, their spouse, their girlfriend, their boyfriend. But pass that number along, okay? And so this podcast isn't about domestic abuse, but I do like to alert some people just in case you are needing some kind of special care. Also, domestic violence isn't just physical abuse. It can be financial abuse, someone running up your credit cards or your credit in any way, taking advantage of your money. It can be verbal abuse, someone who talks to you, putting you down, making you feel worthless, messing with your spirit by, the way they speak to you. And it can be emotional abuse, when someone makes you feel as though you're not worth anything. I know it's kind of close to what verbal abuse is. That's the number, 1-800-799-SAFE, okay? Today, we're going to start anew with getting our life on track, our health on track, okay? You should know, if you don't already, that you should be drinking half of your body weight in fluid ounces of water. Okay, and I'm going to go a little more in detail on that, but before I do, let's start with today's affirmation of meditation. Now, normally when I state the affirmation of meditation, I will say it at least 10 to 12 times, if not more. Today, I'm going to say it maybe 3 times, and you continue it on your own. I'm doing that because I want to have more talk time with you guys, okay, for today. Let's begin the affirmation of meditation. I give myself permission to start over with my health journey. It is my divine right to get my life on track. I give myself permission to start over with my health journey. It is my divine right to get my life on track. I give myself permission to start over with my health journey. It is my divine right to get my life on track. Say it, okay? I give myself permission to start over in my health journey. It is my divine right to get my life on track. All right, continue to say that. Say that at least 12 to 15 times when you first say it, and say it at least 3 times throughout your day. Okay, repeat it like that about 3 times throughout your day. It's Motivational Monday. How are you guys doing today? Well, I'm doing great. I had a good weekend. I had a good week. Okay? I had a good week. Anyway, I went bowling with a friend that, oh my God, I enjoyed the company. I really, really enjoyed the company. We're going to see how it goes, though, before I share all of that with everybody. But I had a good time. And I just enjoy life. I'm one of them people. I love life, and I want more of it. And in order to be able to have more of an enjoyable life, I need to be healthy for that. So I drink half of my body weight in water on the daily basis. Sometimes it's not all water. Most times it is. I'm going to give you an example. If you weigh 110 pounds, you should be drinking at least 55 fluid ounces of water on the daily basis. And it can be water. You can add tea, but you cannot have sugar in it. Nothing with sugar. You can do coconut water, as long as it's the natural coconut water. And I think it's not supposed to be by concentrate. It's supposed to be coconut water, pure coconut water. Anyway, it's Motivational Monday. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. It's Motivational Monday. I want all of you guys to have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. But let's get started, okay? You should be drinking half of your body weight in water on the regular basis. You should also be exercising. You need to be walking at least. If you can't exercise, walk. Get your walking in. Newbies, if you're just starting today, you should be walking at least 5,000 steps on the daily basis. Get your body active, keep that heart pumping. And you got to produce the oxygen to go throughout your body, so you get oxygen to your brain and all of your body parts function properly. Now, those of you who have been with me for a while, you should be walking. You were walking your 5,000. We're going to add you now another 1,000. We're going to get you to 6,000. My previous newbies, okay? And then my intermediates, I want you guys to get up to 7,500 steps per day, okay? 7,500 per day. Me and the rest of my people who've been watching for a while, we are going to go from 10,000 steps to 12,000 steps, okay? And just, if you have to keep increasing it, because if you don't increase it, then your body gets used to it, and then your body gets back into a phase as though you're not getting any exercise in, okay? So you have to continuously increase it just to keep your body challenged. All right, now, you should be doing squats. You should be doing squats. If you have an issue, a physical issue, and you know you're unable to do squats, that's fine. That's quite all right. What you need to do is, find out from your doctor, if you don't know, what you're capable of doing or prohibited from doing. I'm not a doctor, so disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am merely sharing my physical journey, my health journey with you guys on what I'm doing to get healthy. This is about trying to break the generational curse in my family of sugar, diabetes, and high blood pressure. Now, as I shared previously, I do not have sugar diabetes. I was considered a borderline diabetic, and it wasn't because of readings that they had that stated I was borderline. It was because of my family history. So I did not allow them to put me on medications for something I don't have, and you just think I may gain later on in life. Right now, in my head, I am in my later on in life. So no, we're not getting more medications. My goal personally, my personal goal is to get off of the medication that I'm currently on, which is high blood pressure medication. And It's not a lot of milligrams, but I don't want to have to suffer later on in life from any side effects from taking this medication for X amount of years. So far, I've been on this medication consistently for 3 years. A good 3 years I've been taking it, and they have not said anything about taking me off of it. But anyway, it's Motivational Monday, and it's your girl, Janice LaStar Simmons. I want you to hit that like button. I want you to share the episode, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe and save, okay? Subscribe to my channel. This is the YouTube version. If you're watching me right now, this is YouTube, but you can also listen in on iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music, okay? So listen to your girl on the way to work. Like and share the episode, and make sure you subscribe no matter how you listen in, okay? Anyway, let's get back to it. Now, if you are just starting here, you need to know how you can lower your blood pressure and get your body healthier, because you want to build your immune system. You want to lower your blood pressure through the foods that you eat, and you want to decrease the sugars that you take in. And in doing what I'm sharing with you, as long as you drink half of your body weight in water, you will end up losing some weight. The bigger you are, the more weight you will lose. When I say that, I mean the higher the number on your scale, the more you'll lose from drinking the amount of water, because you're drinking half of your body weight. And when you drink more water, it prevents you from wanting to consume so many solids. And in consuming less solids, you automatically lose weight. The fluids are going to come out of you. It's going to come through the kidneys, clear your kidneys. You want to have water, it'll go through the kidneys. As long as you drink the amount of water you're supposed to have on a daily basis, you can prevent kidney stones. When you don't drink enough water, that causes your kidneys to dry up in certain areas, and that's what causes the stones to come out and be formed inside the kidneys. You want to keep those kidneys hydrated, especially in the summertime, because this is a time when you can be out in the heat and have a heat stroke if you don't have enough fluids in your body. You can overheat your body. We're made up primarily water. Our bodies are made mostly of water, so you want to hydrate. You got to take in the water and able to expel water, okay? With that being said, enough of the water. Foods you need to be eating, okay? You need to be eating green vegetables and leafy green vegetables. These will help build your immune system. That helps prevent colds. It helps prevent... when I say prevent, I mean it helps you from getting extremely sick. These things are out there. You're going to catch a summer cold. You're going to have, if you're like me, you're probably suffering from allergies when they say pollen levels are high, because the pollen is out there. And, you get your itchies and your snifflies and your eyes itch and all of that. But it's not going to be as bad if you're eating the proper vegetables and foods. God made this body so that it was self-healing and it can take care of itself. We eat all types of other man-made foods that causes us to have allergens. Those trees have been out there forever. And our ancestors, I'm almost sure, our great ancestors and all of that, I don't think they suffered from allergies, but they didn't eat the foods we ate either. We eat all of these man-made foods that I'm not going to say they're not good. They taste good as heck, but they're not good for our bodies. There's a lot of foods that we intake that may taste good, but are not helping our cells, our minds. They create brain fog. They create cancers. They create high blood pressure and sugar diabetes, all of that kind of stuff. And then some of us want to argue that, well, it tastes good, or I'm going to eat what I want to eat as long as I'm here. Do you, boo? This podcast is for people who want to live. That's my MO. I want to live, okay? So My auntie made it to 90, and she's just as bubbly and sweet and lively. I want to be I want to be more than 90, honey, and I want to be in my right mind frame. If I can still drive, I want to still drive. We have a lady in the church who, she turned around, she's like 85, and I believe she's still driving. She gets herself back and forth to church. You know, you might be a little lonely because you get older, and maybe your old man passed away, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the road for you and you should stop living a full life. Live your full life. If that's your intention to live, live your best life. And in order to do that, you want to be healthy to do it. Okay? Now, the pastor said today, Pastor Eugene, he was saying, he quoted, what was it? Isaiah 43, scriptures 18 and 19, where he's talking about basically, you know, counterphrasing everything. It's about leaving past things in the past. You know, just because you were like a certain thing before in the past doesn't mean you're supposed to be doing that now. We should be asking God to continuously renew our minds. You want to renew your mind and accept the fact that if you're going to live a full, joyous life, the best you there is, you need to leave some of that stuff alone. Those strongholds that we learned from our family that, oh yeah, but we always ate this or whatever. Leave that stuff alone. Eat what God said to eat. You know, the healthy foods that are out there. If you listen to them, they're trying to tell you certain vegetables and fruits aren't good for you. I'm going to tell you that if it's not organically grown, maybe even if it's not organically grown by you, it may not be good for you. So think about that. Maybe it's time that we start farming our own fruits and vegetables. You know? Let me know in the chat who is interested in farming their own fruits and vegetables. And we'll start something with that, you know? We'll get it together with that. If you guys let me know, I will put together whatever we need to put together so we can live, you understand? So, and you know, we got to grow our own fruits and vegetables, so be it. Let me know who's interested, and then I'll put it together. Okay, but getting back to this now. We want to eat what helps our immune system, what helps lower our blood pressure, what helps, I don't want to say lower it, but gives us normal blood pressure, foods like that. Now, carbohydrates increase your sugar levels because carbohydrates break down into sugars, which messes with your insulin, our natural insulin. And when we get a certain age, weight, and size, you know, our insulin stops producing properly. And that's why they have to give you insulin. We don't want that. If you're already taking insulin, then you want to work on correcting your metabolism. Now, there's a few ways you can do that. Whether or not you are interested in trying it is a whole nother thing. But if you were to eat only, hear me out, if you were to eat only in an 8-hour window, a 6 to 8 hour window, we're talking about 24 hours in a day. 8 hours you're supposed to be sleeping. But you eat in an 8-hour window, a 6 to 8 hour window, and the other 16 to 18 hours, depending if you do 6 hours. If you only eat 6 hours, then you get 18 hours of no food. You can do water. Remember, you're trying to get in half of your body weight in water throughout the day. You can do teas, no sugar. Coffee, black. Wine, alcohol, none. Not during the fasting period. But what this does, and eating in those small windows, a 6 to 8 hour window of eating and then no food, it allows your body to digest the food that you've taken in and to remove it, you know, to get it out of your system before consuming more foods. And this way, if you do this for at least 6 months, you can get your insulin levels back on track. you can definitely get your high blood pressure in order, where it won't be high blood pressure. It'll be normal pressure, because now you're eating properly. I'm not saying that right. In order to get your pressure right, you still have to eat less sodium, because sodium stays in your system for a long time. Regardless to if you drink half of your body weight in water, sodium will cling to you, because we produce sodium also. Our bodies produce sodium. And if you're taking in all of this extra sodium that's in the different foods, and it starts piling in, and it causes high blood pressure. The older we get, the heavier we get. It causes high blood pressure. There are thin people with high blood pressure. So it's not just a weight thing, but you have to watch what it is you're taking in on the daily basis. But try that. If you're willing to try that, they call that intermittent fasting. Okay? It may make you lose weight. It may not make you lose weight. But what it will do is it will regulate your sugar and your pressure, providing you're eating properly. That means low carbohydrates, low to no. I say low because I eat carbs. I just don't eat a lot of carbs. I don't double do my carbs. If I'm going to have carbs in the morning because I'm having French toast or pancakes, I'm not going to have any more carbs throughout the day. That's all my carbs. I'm not going to have macaroni and cheese with, for dinner because I had pancakes in the morning or French toast. If I had a big old, they call them grinders, but I call them heroes. I'm from New York. We call it a hero. If I had a big old hero for lunch, I'm not going to have carbs for dinner. No rice, no pasta, no potato salad. I'm not going to have that because I already had my carbs for the day. And I'm not trying to put my body in Rick stage, So we're going to do that, okay? I need you guys to do some squats. Everybody should be doing squats. My newbies, you were the beginners. You were to be doing at least 20 squats, okay? You're supposed to be doing 20 squats. Now, the people who are just tuning in today, 20 squats. My other newbies, you're no longer newbies. You are now, I'll say my beginners, okay? So my beginners, you're going to be doing 25 to 30 squats. Start with 25 for the first 2 days this week, and then make it get up to 30. And you go ahead and keep doing 30. Keep doing 30. The other ones, you guys were doing 50. That's my intermediates. Y'all were doing 50. You need to push that 50 up to 75. And the rest of us, we're kicking it at 100. And we're going to keep doing that. I need to do something about my arms, child. I got some weights I've been lifting, but I guess I ain't doing it heavy enough. I need some heavier weights. I need to get me, I don't know, I need some heavier weights. But that's just my, opinion for myself. That's what I'm going to do for me. Hand weights. I'm talking about heavier hand weights. I do have some heavier ones. I got some 8-pounders. I've been using the 2s and the 5s. I need to use the 8s. So, but I got to get myself ready for that, because when I'm using my weights, I'm on my treadmill walking and throwing my arms and swinging and all of that, But I need to use a heavier weight. I'm not going to do the 8-pounders yet. I'm going to stick, for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to stick with what I'm using, which is the 5-pounders. It's 5 pounds this hand, 5 pounds that hand. I'm going to keep doing that. And then I will get to the 8-pound weights. And when I start feeling like that's getting light, I'll purchase me something heavier and get to that. I think my brother took his other weights he had here that were heavier than that. I gotta search and see. But anyway, it's Motivational Monday. I want you guys, in case you don't know what vegetables you should be eating, when I say green vegetables and green leafy vegetables, here are some examples. Green vegetables, that would be peas, string beans, broccoli, asparagus, okra. And green leafy vegetables, that would be arugula, spinach, lettuce, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and kale, collard greens, stuff like that, okay? So you want to eat more vegetables. When you're making a plate at dinner time, we're talking dinner, even lunch, if you're doing a salad or something and you got some lettuce or something, you got a vegetable on your plate, you should have a larger portion of vegetables on your plate than you have of proteins. You should not have a lot of proteins on that plate at all. It should always be smaller than your portion of vegetables. And I say that because you need more vegetables than you need protein. Protein is very filling. And we've trained our bodies because we say we like it. Well, I like meat. I like this meat. I like that meat or whatever. We've trained ourselves to eat more of that, but we should be eating more of the vegetable, which we can digest quicker, and our bodies can use the vitamins and iron and all of that, the proteins, whatever. You want to eat more vegetables than you do proteins. That's what I'm trying to tell you, because our body has a harder time breaking down proteins than it does vegetables. Okay, so I just love talking to you guys, as you can see, and I am looking forward to talking to you guys again later on. Not next week, but the week after that. I love you, I miss you, and I care. And until next time, okay? Again, hit that like button, share the episode, and save it. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Brave Stars podcast. And I will talk to you again in a week or two. Later, Gators.